All right, welcome everybody to the first Gear tournament. This is a fun little bonus for the people in the Gears program, the top bond players, the highest earners, top ranks. Basically, our biggest earners the last month got invited into a little extra tournament. I believe it's $250 in a prize pool, single elimination, 16 people. Nice quick afternoon tournament. And we're down to our finalists. We got Diesel versus Gizo. Diesel took out some tough competition on the way. He beat Wizard Todd and then Mago GX, who's ranked 2 on the ladder, by the way, and then Dual Note. Actually, some crazy opponents. Now he's in the finals. And Gizo, meanwhile, beat Jabo 8, Never Lucky, and then Bong Bong, which I believe is Gabin under a silly name. So also a very tough competition. Gabin is really, really good, especially. All those players are good. And so we have a great final match. And I am excited. Kinto, how you feeling, man?
Yeah, really excited to be casting alongside you. First of all, Flux, this is the first time. Definitely really excited to also be doing this tournament. Like, we used to do so many tournaments before in PDAO, but now it's exclusive. Now it's just about the Gears, which is the top players in the bond. So this is actually, it's not like anyone can enter this tournament. So it's high-level players. We had players here like Lambi. We have Diesel. Many of the players that you have seen in the majors. You have seen Gizo also, for example. And yeah, I mean, really exciting. We're just waiting for the guys to start. They're entering the code right now, and it's on. So let's go. Let's go into the match and wait for the queue. Let's move on to it. Transition. And we have Kathy. Diesel playing Kathy and Gizo with CPUs. Both master players here. They're good to go.
I'm excited. This is interesting. So you tell me if I'm wrong here. I believe Kathy needs a good opening because the longer the game goes, the more Skippy is going to be favored, right? If they have more refill, they can fill the board over and over, whereas Kathy has that more front-loaded damage, right?
Correct. Kathy needs to set up the tempo really early, be able to deal with CPU threats, and also not run out of steam, get that lethal at some point, because then, yeah, it will just get overrun by CP and its threats.
Wow, good opening hand there, going first.
Yeah. The 2 Bannermans, the PS8, and the Slingers, really helpful to deal with early threats. Let's see what Gizo gets here. I think I have to basically fix.
Okay, yeah, you got his hand on there.
Oh, okay, there it is.
Quinto's doing production today, so
yeah,
he's doing double duty here. Yeah, this looks good. Yeah, with Kathy, the 1+1+1 is the ideal opener, and then the PS8 can also buff the Bannermans, but also Skippy's got a nice hand. That Subjugate's amazing, and he also has 3 1-drops to fill up his first 2 turns. This looks like both players got a strong start.
And look at this. Diesel is saving his Mercenary Gunslinger here to maximize the damage he can do to clear any threats that arises from CPUs here. He really wants nothing to stick in this board for Gizo.
I love how Gizo's cards are in Japanese, if I'm not mistaken, and then Diesel's in English. Like, it's cool how you get to see both languages, not to get distracted.
Yeah, he was asking me, like, can I play in Japanese? And I go, for sure, man.
It looks so cool. I love that. Yeah, this is Diesel's got all the options. Okay, he's not gonna. Gizo didn't play his 1 health units, so now this Gunslinger doesn't look that nice. The PS8's more what he needs.
Yeah, this double buff on the Bannerman really sets things going for Diesel. And this is what I mentioned in the beginning about playing Kathy. Now we see Diesel's going first, only has that Machinist, which is good, and then gets the Kathy's Rallying Cry.
Perfect draw.
Keep cooking. Yeah, good draw for him right now. Really lets him stay on tempo and keep getting resources.
That draw, like Machinist and then Rallying Cry, is like Diesel's getting such nice draws. Because the thing with this opening draw is, like, it's super good, but if you get awkward draws the next couple cards, it can really mess up your turn 3, turn 4. He's just in the zone now.
Yeah, I mean, if he had some Slingers here also, They
That would
will
be
cook.
crazy. Imagine double slinger. It's super unlikely because he already had one and she
Yeah.
banked. But imagine double slinger off the rallying cry, GG, like GG almost at that point.
Yeah. Too much tempo to handle. And then he has a Cathy turn possibly just to keep the resources. Gets the Bloodhound transfer, which is great here. He can double buff it. But the second wave soldier, he would also want it to play it in second to activate his muster.
I think he needs to draw more. I'm guessing he goes for the draw. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'd be so nice to trade in the Bloodhound into one of those 2/1s, but he can get the value trades, not lose any units, and then he needs cards more than he needs the onboard unit at this point.
Correct. And gets another Cathy's Rallying Cry.
Bro!
My man Diesel here is cooking.
Blessed. I've never seen Diesel get such a good draw in his life, man. This is amazing to watch. Poor Jizo, though, really needs to find a way back in. And he does have the Relic. He does have Subjugate Double Tabula, which is actually very strong. You think he can fight his way back out?
The thing is that we know that Cathari doesn't run any whiteboard removal. If this was a board, like if Diesel was playing Cathari and it was the other way around, we know that Jisoo might have an out, but here it's kind of complicated to actually do something about this board. He definitely can work something out and regain the tempo even.
He can kill one of the Bannermen, is what I'm noticing. He can at least double buff his token, and then he can trade into one of these 3/2s, which is a start.
Yeah, but we'll leave this ATN.
The tokens are down at that point, and then he can play the Relic next turn potentially to buff them. So he's got some opportunity, but without a board clear, like you said, Marco would have Artillery Volley or Sendrillin. Cathari just doesn't have those things. It's really tough.
Yeah, and the other thing is that Jisoo is leaving his ATN Subjugate to die against a possible Bannerman. So
that's tough.
It's kind of complicated even with a Relic. Yeah.
He has no way to avoid giving up his Subjugate, though, right? Because any other line would just mean doing nothing, basically.
Yep.
So he kind of has to sacrifice it, but it's painful. But he drew another Subjugate, so that could be really nice. And here comes the Rallying Cry. Dude, Diesel's still drawing good.
Yeah, definitely the Rallying Cry, going to more units, keeping the pressure here against... definitely this is a play where it's can go Pathfinder and then Bloodhound to just keep on clearing stuff. In this scenario,
he has 2 no-snitchings in his hand, so like he kills this Subjugate potentially, and then when the next one comes down, he can just silence it. So he's got a lot of options. It's just such a tough match for Jizo, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, this was the perfect situation here for Diesel, getting those Rallying Cries in the mid game, still getting some resources from the Machinist, and the second wave Soldier, which is a nice addition that we see here for Cathy specifically to not run out of steam. Getting a couple more resources definitely kick things up for Diesel in this situation. Using the no snitching here. Yeah,
go ahead.
RNG. Yeah. Using the no snitching here, I think would be a chance for Diesel to just keep hammering face before Cathari does something. But on the other hand, just dealing with these threats and keeping the board, keep up the tempo is just as good.
He's so low on cards that I feel like playing no snitching there is kind of an unnecessary risk, right? Then he might have a bad bank situation next turn, so he can give up that unit. He does have a clock though, because he's only done 4 damage to Jizo's face, and there is risk of Jizo just needs one good triumph and he can be back in this. It's actually not as over as I felt like it was. Now I'm starting to see like, okay, Diesel isn't as high tempo. His tempo is good, but he's not really getting that burn damage to like make it last. So there's still a chance for Jizo to kind of correct this.
Well,
also shout out to Speed Demon in the chat. Welcome in, brother. Good to see you.
Yep.
So this Pathfinder, it's so good when it works. And I really feel like Pathfinder is a little underrated. You just have to be a little bit more creative. It's not as obvious like play on turn 1 and pass, but it's such a good 1-drop.
And just getting the triumph here. It's in this situation, it's such a nice draw.
Yeah, I guess he just triumphs and slams. Does he have any worry about like not getting to play Cindy? I mean, the problem with Cindy, he plays a 4/4 it might just kill your own units as well as hurting the others, the enemy.
I mean, that's fine. Usually, what you want to do here in this situation, or what I would do, is just exhaust my resources and then set up the scenario where I just slam this Triumph of Mars and get some nice reductions. For example, a victory here at 3 cost or at 2 cost.
Yeah, it looks like he's doing that. It looks like he's going to play Cindy and run into the 2/4 standard bearer, and then he'll have Triumph for next turn. I'm guessing he's about to bank no snitching. We'll see if that's the path he's taken here.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's going to Triumph now. Okay, I guess I believe he's triumphing now. That looks like I'm wrong.
Slamming
He's
Kathy.
cashing. It's the third option. Okay, embarrassed. This is why Diesel's in the finals, and I'm just commentating. Yeah, it makes sense. 5 damage to face.
Yeah, yeah. And now more resources. Jisoo against the ropes
Triumph,
here.
though. Triumph pulls him back in it.
Yeah. But,
if he didn't draw Triumph there, the game is pretty much over. Triumph, I mean, we see Diesel's hand. We know how good it is, which makes it tough. But Triumph at least gives Jisoo some hope. There's still some play here. If he drew like a tabula or a 1-drop, I mean, he would be out of it probably. Depending.
Yeah,
on
Triumph is what you want to see in this situation for sure.
Yeah, to
for
put
sure.
it mildly.
Yeah. So many options here. The 1 cost will really do the job, getting that standard bearer, those princeps, the striker or the Reliant Gamma, gets also the tabulas. This is going to be an insane board for Jisoo. However, this Cendrillon in Diesel's hand will be most likely able to deal with everything. He knows, Jisoo knows that there's possibly a removal coming, so he's not committing too much, going with the recruiter here, searching for some answers. But will that be enough against the pressure that Diesel is just about to drop in this board?
Yeah, it's interesting. I would have been tempted in Jisoo's place to go all in, and I would be like, well, if Diesel has a board clear, I had to try and it's over. But instead, Jisoo is thinking, okay, he can play it a little more going for that draw, but also getting a wide board. This is actually a really smart way to play this Triumph. A lot of players would have been tempted just to slam all the 1-drops for that little extra width, but the draw seems like it's still such a good board, right?
Yeah, it's still such a good board, and it's not a clean kill for Cendrillon. So Kathy might not be able to attack face, and this is the place where
it can be clean though, right? If he does the 1/1, and if he trades in first, he can clean it up so that Kathy's the last one on the board, I think, right?
Well, now he can with that slinger. Oh, he has the 1/1. Yeah, definitely.
On the board only, I mean,
Yeah. Now he can, on the board only, definitely. I mean, if the Bannerman needs to attack, it's not as clean as I would like, but now with the slinger, it's definitely cleaner. And the Kathy will be able.
Right, he's going to use the slinger. I see. Okay, I'm a step behind. Gotcha.
And now the Kathy will be able to attack face, placing Jisoo in a top spot at 11 health. However, on Jisoo's hand, we see a nice play coming up to replenish some resources that Ancient Subjugate and the Recruiter might be doing some lift here for him.
Considering how good Diesel's opening was going first, I'm impressed that Jisoo is putting up a good fight. Like Diesel he's an amazing player, but in this case, he's just gotten the cards exactly the way he needs them. Even now, even after all that, he has 1 card left, and it's still this Triumph.
And I've seen players, and look at that, the Determined Assault will be able to also cook here for Diesel.
Every draw is like what he needs. It's crazy.
I mean, I've seen some players bank this Triumph of Mars, and time again, they get into the situation where the Triumph of Mars is needed.
Right.
Jisoo, on the other hand, can be able to survive if this Triumph of Mars doesn't do the job. But I'm not sure, since we have not seen the deck list, what does Diesel have in store? If he has an Orbital Strike, for example, here he can just go ahead, play the Determined Assault, slam that Triumph of Mars, and get some other answers. Cook with the Slinger also to face. So he already has, for sure, 4 damage against Jisoo. And if he has a third, snitching. He can actually, well, no, he can't anymore.
It would be nuts. It would be nuts.
So yeah, bank the Triumph of Mars.
Now he's got to think, is he want to send it all face, or is he going to try to clear anything? I'm guessing going all face.
He's going for it. He knows that there's something there in his deck that can finish this off, and also the possibility of Cathy attacking face.
True. Even if he doesn't get it off Triumph, he's got 25% chance to win at the end of the turn, no matter what. And that's not even counting the PS8. So now it's a 1 in 3.
One more chances with a PS8. Increasing the odds here. It's all about the numbers at this stage. Gets the Bloodhound for an extra 1 damage. Just Determined Assault away from lethal. Clears the Recruiter. Bloodhound to the face. And whatever, like a high roll. He's a high roll away from
Cathy,
from
what
lethal.
are you going to do?
And
what are you going to do?
Ooh.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Cooks up.
Diesel needs to draw 1 more burn card out of at all. Jizo needs to fight back from 3 health versus 23. It's an uphill battle, but Magna is a nice start if he's going to try to make something happen.
Yeah, and this is where we see it. Like, this is a situation you want to be when playing Cathy. Like, you want to put your opponent in this scenario where it's like 1 card away from dealing lethal damage, because you know that you're gonna run out of steam. Look at Diesel's hand right now. It's the Master Poisoner and Harv. That won't do anything against the threats coming up with Cathari.
Yeah, it goes to show, like, Cathy is so front-loaded. This is what Muka taught me when I was getting coached by Muka. Like, Cathy is front-loaded as hell, and this is, you can see it. Like, Diesel's had such a good game, and he's still running out of gas, even after his best draw, because this deck just is not made to go long. I mean, Jizo's showing good mental game here. He's making good plays. He's looking for a way to build up this board enough. He can get enough damage to face with his units that he can just race his way there before Diesel draws burn, but also keeping Diesel under control on the board. It's a very difficult juggling act, and Jizo's putting up a good attempt here.
Yep. Just one. Like, I mean, we know that these cards, these Cathy decks run Catherine's Expertise. We know that they run Orbital Strike, possibly. He also has... What else can Cathy do here? He already played as Endrillion, so that 3 damage and that instant damage is over. So, actually, Diesel needs... Like, if he doesn't high roll here, he's dead. Look at this board.
Crap. After all that, man.
And gets the Expertise, no way.
It's lucky as hell.
Diesel was what a high roll by Diesel. Oh my god.
The whole game. Every turn, man's high roll. And I mean, hey, shout out to Diesel.
Yeah. What an insane match. Like, down to the high roll with the Cathys. We were talking about that. Like, these Cathy decks tend to run the Expertise, the Orbital Strike, and all of these cards. That this is how you play Cathy. He played it so well. Like, even if it was down to the high roll, that's how you play it. That's how you win games with Cathy. Hammer the board, get as much as resources as possible. The second wave soldier definitely helped there. And end the game with a high roll. Like, that's the style.
Some aggression, I feel like.
Yeah. So we're back at it.
Let's go.
Hopefully this time there's no bugs around and everything goes smooth.
Yeah, I believe it. We're doing pretty good. Not bad for the first Gears tournament.
The Gears tournament. Bunch of chats here. Like, we had so many good players in that bracket.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, Lambie lost round 1 to Gavin, I think. There's all kinds of tough matches in there.
Bong Bong. That's Gavin?
Sorry, Bong Bong. I believe that's Gavin, yeah.
So yeah, we had Dual Note, who was another world champ, another one in the worlds.
I think actually they turned off nickname changing. Now Gavin is stuck as Bong Bong. I'm not sure how that's going to end up. Pretty funny. Pretty funny for now.
So
I
yeah,
can never leave Paragons now. Paragons is in my name, so we're stuck together, Quinto. We're married.
let's go.
All right, so looking like a decent Skippy hand.
Yeah,
Oh, ooh, Brand with a double life siphon and the
yeah,
embedded agent. So this time Diesel's going second. Okay, this is kind of like what I was hoping for, right? They both drew good hands. Diesel's
yeah,
still getting the knife, which isn't good in this matchup, but at least he has 1, 2, 3, 4, which is something to start with.
yeah. Correct. It's going with the embedded agent here just to cook anything,
Oh, great
but
draw.
there's no snitching in Diesel's hand. Will handle this.
Yeah, you think he
So
definitely wants to use that no snitching here? He wouldn't like just play the one drop and let him trade in.
yeah, Diesel going with the Reliant Gamma into the bank, which tends to like usually I what I like to do against Brand specifically or Nudon is to just bank whatever is costly and keep as much cheap units as possible because that makes it so that I'm so versatile against anything. I can play a bunch of like I can keep loading the board with units, and against a deck like Brand where it's like just an erasure away with a big unit, but the Predator is good in this situation anyways. Being able to drop 2 tokens also. For example, after a possible ATM subject that we see here in turn 3.
Yeah. That's a good line too. If he plays subjugate on 3, Praetor on 4, if Jizo has an erasure, he's likely to use it on the subjugate, and then the Praetor can live. And if he does an erasure to subjugate, you might get the double buff. He could also silence subjugate, which is kind of in the middle, but it forces it's like baiting out some removal on turn 3 before you play that big 4-drop.
Yeah, but imagine having that Reliant Gamma in this situation, being able to play both of them at this point. Definitely a Standard Bearer is okay.
Yeah, if he knew he was going to draw another 1-drop, he might have wanted to bank something else and play 2 1s on this turn, get wider, basically.
Yeah. So we probably see an ATM subject right away here. And probably
Diesel doesn't have removal in his hand, right? So like Diesel doesn't really know this yet, but he's actually pretty safe. Like Jizo doesn't have a lot of counterplay options yet.
Yeah. And
Although
I wonder if we will see. I wonder if we will see a auto kill on that CPU's adjutant to get the buff on an ATM subject. Or it depends on the one he draws, because if he draws another Standard Bearer, I would go Standard Bearer into Valorous Striker, gets the Con Incipient, which is great here, and probably sacrifice the adjutant right away, get an insane board. Yeah, there he goes. Back the ATM subject and go with the 2 units, and he has the perfect curve. That Predator into the Drussian. This is going to be insane. Turn 5 for Diesel.
Wow. That Scipion is a perfect draw, filling out his curve. Because you don't really need to get tall in this matchup because Brand has such good single target removal. You want to get wide, and the Scipion is perfect for that.
Yep, correct. And this is the situation here. This erasure won't be able to do much once this CPM Predator also falls into the board. He will... Jizo will be forced to use this erasure on something else, so the Predator will fall perfectly into his board
there instead of killing the little token.
I think he just wants some damage to the face, since he doesn't really mind. He knows that probably the math does the job once he drops the Drussian, and he wants to finish the game as soon as possible.
Yeah, he's in face mode, full aggro smork. He sees it. He sees the path. And the Triumph is such a nice draw for turn 6 as well. It's ridiculous.
And if he cleared the embedded agent, he would have died either way to the researcher.
Yeah, the researcher. Yeah. That 2 attack would have been enough if he used the... Plus, he doesn't want to lose the Standard Bearer. He doesn't want to take damage on that.
Yeah. So forcing Jizo just to do it by himself.
Yeah. That makes sense. Jizo's going to trade in all the time, so why would he bother? It makes a lot of sense. Now, I mean, Jizo's got this Singularity Steward. He's got some chance to ramp up, but it's going to be hard for that to keep up with Diesel's hand. Still, Wong, Triumph of the Lost. These are very strong cards in Jizo's hand. They're just a little more like setup cards where he might need a little more tempo if he can find it. Well, Triumph can be good tempo. It all depends on what Diesel plays. Problem is, if Diesel plays Drusian Exorator, Triumph is not going to do anything with that. But he could copy the Praetor, and potentially that Defender could help. I'm grasping at straws here, trying to think. Is he banking Exorator? Wait, what?
So he's dropping the Praetor here for the double token. Definitely he's thinking about banking the Drusian because this makes it so like if he banks it, then his tokens won't be able to do much because they'll be clean there. But as we know from the last match, Diesel is running 2 Drusians, so he gets a chance to get another one here.
And he can also use a Tabula to copy it from the bank, so banking it's not always nearly as big a sacrifice as it could be in other decks.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And he gets it. There it is.
I'm still surprised he banked it. I don't know. To me, it's like that Standard Bearer could be a bank. I guess Diesel's prioritizing having multiple different options, like that 2-drop can fit in the curve differently, so he's really making sure he has no risk of a dead turn, I guess.
Yeah, I think this is too much pressure here for Jizo to handle, like being forced to drop the Wong here. Eclipse Fade is too costly, too expensive, and now he's praying that he gets 3 off, be able to deal with this Praetor, but this Drusian that's coming next is gonna really kick things up, unless Diesel actually just wants to set up even more board, and actually Jizo gets the buff on the Researcher to be able to clear the Praetor. Gets a big unit here, so Diesel will be forced to play that Triumph. He's still far away from lethal, and he needs to develop more board, but now facing 2 big units, facing also a possible Honor Steward, and that Eclipse Fate if he goes with many copies off. Wonder if he's just gonna go clear the board here.
And there's not too much in his waist yet. Although he can do some trades first, of course, but Triumph isn't like super loaded. It's still gonna be really good here though.
Yeah, he's going for the control.
Okay.
Gonna deal with this board.
Value trades, or is he going all face? He's going all face? What's he thinking right now? I mean, he definitely could have the Praetor kill the Wong, for example. 5/5 kills 4/4. That's nice and clean. Okay, no, he's sending it face.
Yeah. I mean,
feel like he needs to be aggressive here. He can't be like just clearing the board, right? Like he has to get face damage now.
Complicated situation. Like this is what I was figuring out. Like the Researcher being able to deal with any of the threats here, and now controlling the board. He's thinking like this is a complicated situation playing CPUs. Even if he has that Triumph in hand, paired up with the Reliant Gamma, definitely it's a good spot either way for
face the Praetor. He's going to get some damage to face, but he is trading in his other units. Okay, so he's staying not very wide now, but he's got 2 decently statted units, the X-Rater with the buff, but this is the kind of board that Shroud can start to answer. Shroud does have tools to deal with stuff like this.
Yeah. And the Eclipse Fate will deal also with this Radiant Legion, will be nice. He has counting. He's counting for 4 clones he will get. If he banks that Reliant Gamma, he gets 5 clones, but the Eclipse Fate will do the job in being able to contain some of the threats from Diesel. So this is an interesting scenario. Going with a stabilized shard just to set it up so he can play Demok next turn if he draws it, because he doesn't have it. But he has the chance to do it. And that
Steward could have some impact here, right? He can remove the X-Rater, and then the Praetor goes down to 3/3. Who's casting with Quinto? Just some dude named Flux. What's up, Puma?
Lofty. What's popping?
Like anything other than Honored Steward just feels really low tempo this turn. I don't know if he can afford to not have some tempo here. I mean, he could spike out a brand soon. Maybe after a demo, or if he doesn't, I don't know. Like
he can go on Scene Allies also to just set up a nice turn on the next one. On the next turn, he has 3 cards in the Singularity, not much, but overall he can play some stuff there, especially the Corrupted Vision. Yeah, he goes with the Unseen Allies, setting up a good turn next, and having the possibility to also play a Democ if things go out of hand.
Those stats in the Singularity, brother. Oh man, that 11 attack on the token. Okay. I was underestimating the Singularity.
Yeah, Brand, Unseen Allies for Brand is key.
It's so good. It's so good. That card is crazy.
So
good.
Actually, we see here that Diesel can get the second Exorator for a lot of damage. Wonder what he will go with.
Just like we mentioned a few turns ago, that's the nice thing about if you have to bank it in Cathari, you can get it back. It's not a muster. And
for Jisoo, the Trusty Build will also be able to do some damage here, be able to clear 2 of the chunky units. So it's interesting. He's going with the Radiant Legion, but has not banked anything. He needs to bank the Reliant Gamma, and then play the Tabula.
He doesn't know that he's walking right into this Eclipsed Fate. I'm sure he's considering it, but he's thinking if he plays Radiant Legion, he's making a bet that Jizo won't be able to Eclipsed Fate him back.
Yeah.
And he's also being very patient with his Triumph. I'm noticing. I mean, a lot of players, they just play it as soon as they can. He's holding on to it. He's got it in his hand. He's not in any rush, even though Brand could pull out a Treacherous Scheming at some point. But that is a tempo, expensive play tempo-wise. So he's probably figuring that Jizo doesn't have time to steal the card right now.
So this is for sure going to be a Trusty Build Eclipse Fate play for Jizo. Effectively dealing with an insane board.
It's an insane board, and like he's getting into a place where he's going to be able to play Brand, and Diesel might not have an answer for it at that point. Like if Jizo can get through this one Triumph, I mean Diesel's going to draw more cards, of course, but like as of right now, like if Jizo can survive the Triumph, then Jizo has some really potential to stabilize from there.
Yeah. So he's just cooking up that Corrupted Vision. In any case, he doesn't want the Drussian to disappear. And we see another Unseen Allies. No Democ here for Jizo.
No demo. Would have been so nice to draw a demo.
Yeah. Definitely Eclipse Fate will be necessary in this situation.
Yeah, put it mildly.
I mean, playing against the wall here, this is the issue. Like, he was setting up that stabilized shard for a possible Democ, would have been able, and that's exactly why Diesel was and is conservative with his Triumph. Because he knows that this Triumph can do the job if there's a Democ played, and just keep summoning units. Radiant Legion is a card that did the job also for him without having to commit too much.
So the attacks are very high, but the health is only 2 on each one, so they're easy to trade into.
Yeah. And here we could see a possible second Drussian from the bank of Diesel if he gets like a 2 or 1 cost unit. And then this will be lethal, I think, for Diesel.
No 2-drop, so he can't get to the Drusian. He can't get his mana to be exactly 5, which is what he would need to do at Tabula.
Yep.
Which means he's going to have to deal with these big attack, glass cannon type units. And then, yeah, like you said, holding on to Triumph as his post-demo plan. Skippy always needs a way to refill. Never mind. Now he knows that if Jizo had demo, he would have played it last turn. So now he's thinking maybe he wants to slam it down. The gamble is if Jizo draws a demo before the next turn, he'll just answer it with demo. So this is a risk, but it's a calculated risk. And it's not the greatest waste, honestly.
Only a Standard Bearer. Like the only clean one is Praetor, which, yeah, Praetor and Bearer.
So +1/+1 then? Yeah. Wow. Okay. Just going the widest that he can. Although 4/+1 would have been wide is equally wide, right? Either way, it's 3 units, but this one establishes a Standard Bearer, I suppose.
Will
Kind of
Diesel
surprised he
be
didn't go
forced?
4+1, honestly.
Will Diesel be forced to bank the Tavila in this situation?
Ooh.
I don't think so. Like he
If he
probably goes
does,
with a Predator.
Penzo is going to wake up in his sleep with a headache or something anytime someone banks a Tabula. Yeah, I mean, it's tempting because both those other cards, I mean, 7 mana, 3+4 next turn could be really nice. That's a really, the double buff on the Subjugate.
Not only that,
But the
but
Tabula
can give him also a Drussian if he banks the Predator. For sure.
Right, because next turn he has 8 mana and then plays Subjugate, gets down to 5. So yeah, it makes sense. He wants to bank Praetor. He's setting up for a Drusian next turn, the Exorator, since that's going to get him lethal. He is looking for lethal. He knows that if Jizo draws a Demo, it's going to reset the situation, reset the board.
He just went out all in with a Tabula.
Okay. Never mind what I said. No, not saving the Tabula. Holy crap. He's going for it. He's all in.
And let's see. Will we see
if
a Demo here?
wins this, he's going to win the whole tournament, right? Like, this is the...
Yeah, that's it.
This could be it right here. Jizo is fighting for his tournament life against 6 big boys on the board, and he does not have a Demo. Yeah. He only has a Treacherous Scheming, a Belt, a Steward, and a Triumph. It's not exactly what he needs. I will be impressed if Jizo can fight his way out of this one. I'm not sure if I'm seeing anything.
Yep, and that's going to be it for Jizo here. There's nothing that he could possibly do against this board. Definitely dealing with a Drussian, but this is what we were talking about. Like a Drussian here.
He can still hold, right? With Honored Steward, he doesn't take lethal quite yet. He's alive for a few more turns, I think. Oh, he's going Brand.
Yeah.
So 4, 7, 8, 9 damage on board. We can see Diesel's hands. We know he doesn't have a lethal enabler yet. Going for that Brand and a Steward, and Jizo also has a Trusty Belt in his hand. I don't know, Kento. I think you might have been calling it a little early. I feel like there's still some counterplay looking pretty good here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's what I was talking about here. The Tabula would have done the job. It was too difficult for...
Yeah. He missed it, didn't? If he did what you said, he would have had lethal. If he held back a Tabula, he could have gotten it here, right?
If there was no Demok, there were no actual answers to deal with the whole board. So a Drussian would have done the job, and that was it.
He'd have one less unit on the board. We don't want to get bogged down in the math. It'd be interesting to review that, though. Yeah, definitely that could have been an opportunity for Diesel to close it out. Instead, Jizo has a big Brand on the board, Trusty Belt in hand. That Triumph can get value potentially. Like, Jizo is stabilizing pretty good. And what? That's 6 damage on board. I mean, he can go face, take Jizo down to 10. That's not enough.
Yeah, 10 damage here with the
relic. It's 10, fair enough.
High density. So it's still 6 off. I mean,
does he want to go face here?
Yeah,
man, like, how does... If you're Diesel, do you just start jamming face, or are you trying to manage the board?
I mean, it's still the same situation. Like, Diesel's playing the game of just dropping a bunch of stuff, reveals here as a Radiant Legion. Like, he keeps on having answers. Keeps on filling up the board. Yeah, he's going face for sure. Yeah, he doesn't care. He's just piling up the board, but this is his last bit of resources. He's going all in.
His entire tournament on Jizo not ever drawing Demo this whole game, and so far it's working.
Yeah. He went all in against Jizo not having the Demok. But I mean, definitely that Drussian would have closed it out if there was no Demok. And we get a Recruiter.
Diesel told me he was like, he didn't sleep that well last night. And you can tell he's trying to get to bed. He's like, I want to win this quick, or I want to lose this quick, but I don't want any half-an-hour games. I want to stay as aggro as I can. I can see that's in Diesel's playstyle. He's trying to be done for the day. He's like, give me my money. I want to go to bed.
So here's a Trusty Belt for Brand. Definitely this will mean 2 units gone, an Erasure, and that Triumph will bring him probably an honor Steward and makes it so like 5 units possibly that he will be able to deal with, but it's not enough.
Yeah, he can't defend enough. Now Diesel is guaranteed lethal. This is checkmate, yeah?
Yeah, he like no Demok. He knew in that turn that there was no Demok, so he went all in against
Dude.
the possible high roll. He knew that okay, if there's a high roll, I'm cooked, but if there isn't, I'm good.
Like Jizo played really well this series. I think Diesel definitely had the advantage in terms of RNG. Just like he played his 2 aggro decks and he got 2 really good draws. The one bad draw they had to reset the match, unfortunately. So like Diesel's amazing, obviously, but I do want to count. I want to give Jizo credit. He has shown great mental game and great ability to stay locked in some tough spots. He's been really fighting his heart out this whole series. So if it looks like it's about to be a Diesel first place, Jizo second, it's still really well played by Jizo.
Is there an out here for Jizo actually?
Jira. I can't imagine it, but I'm waiting for Jizo to show me. He has the erasure in his hand. I mean, yeah, he's got the he can clear some stuff here, and he gets Brand's tokens back.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, what can he get with a Adira that actually will save him? Like, it's too much here.
I don't see it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you can get like a PS8 and like clear out one of the standard bearers. I don't know. Like if he hits one with Adira and then he PS8s after. I don't know. Sabo, Puma points out from chat that would be maybe not quite enough, but that's the closest thing I can think of. Yeah. If he had a Sabo, take all the attacks down by 1, they can clear some more. That might have kept him at least alive for another turn.
Yep. Jisoo is hanging on to their life here.
This is. I mean, Lambie talks about this, right? Like, play your outs.
Oh, the Magna actually is an answer here. Is possibly the only answer he could have gotten.
He pulled the Magna, bro. I didn't even think about that. Chat didn't think about that either.
And pulled another Trusty Belt that will help him deal with 2 units here with the Honor Steward.
Oh my god! Yeah! Wow. Okay, so he had Trusty Belt on Brand. He's got another
the Trusty Belt came back to.
Right. You can sacrifice a unit on the belt.
Oh
that
my god!
That often. Wow.
But what does this Honor Steward has in store here? Can he actually kill this Honor Steward?
Good question. I forget what it stole. I forget. If there was a token on the board, he might have taken a token. It could be.
He's going for the Erasure and the Honor Steward onto the 3/4 unit.
Oh my god!
And Jisoo is still alive. Holy moly!
How did he do it?
No way. Dude, let's see.
That turn needs to be studied.
High roll again for Diesel with a relic.
It's not fair. It's not fair. No. 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 No.
And that's gonna be it, guys.
It's not fair, man.
Diesel with the high roll.
But it's not fair. God.
I mean, he had the recruiter. The recruiter could possibly pull out. No, not sure. Like, even with an Atian, he already had the 2 Drusians. Probably he could have gotten another Tavila to get his Drusian also.
Oh, I can't even. Well played by Jizo. Diesel just had the blessings of the RNG gods today. I love Diesel, but clearly well played by both players. But man, Jizo just couldn't get a chance to at least like make it 1-1. Like he was putting in such a good fight. But Diesel's an amazing player. He had the cards. He had the aggro decks. There's no bans. It was just kind of his day to day, I think, and well earned. I mean, hey, great player, great member of the bond. So both obviously all 16, everyone. That was really fun. That was a great finals.
Yep. So let me see. And that was it.
Chat, by the way. Congratulations, sir.
Yep. Big congrats to both of you guys. Diesel in the chat. GG's, guys. Thanks for hosting. Our pleasure, man. Really well played. GG's. So any last thoughts here before we wrap it up, Flux? It was a pleasure casting with you. Did really well. And yeah. Hope to see you in the next one.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for letting me join you today, Quinto. This was an awesome introduction to some parallel casting. I really appreciate it. I'm learning a lot from doing this with you, and I hope to continue. So thank you so much, man. And thanks to everyone in the chat. Appreciate you guys hanging out. We're building up Paragons a little more each day, and you can feel it starting to cook. I feel like just. So yeah, man, very excited.
Exactly. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and thanks everyone for participating. Thanks Flux for being here in casting as a co-caster, and tune in for the next one.